Now we're going to paint the outside of the house. Hey everybody, I'm Bill with Live Simple, Live Free. And we got a lot going on this week. I got a bunch of little details that I got to take care of. And then we're going to start painting the outside of the house. I'm very excited to see what this is going to look like. So here in the front of the house, all of the bushes were way overgrown and we trimmed them down. Still got a little bit more trimming to do. And then all the white rock there. But then over here, there were also the same kind of bushes, but they were all really scraggly. So we took them out. So we have this little bit of area in our yard right here where I decided to stop mowing because I wanted to grow up kind of like that to give a little bit more privacy and hide our house a little bit. And so I was just stopped mowing it. But just recently, we're renovating this house for a flip, and the house had some bushes in front that didn't look real good, so we decided to remove them. And then we brought them over here and planted them in this section to help it grow faster. But we didn't tell my wife Elizabeth. And she came out here to check the mail yesterday, and when she came back in, I was rolling on the floor laughing. She said, "It's amazing, that spot where you stopped mowing, all of a sudden there's these bushes coming up all over the place. How did they get there so fast?" I finally had to tell her. Now we've got this stone here that doesn't look very good. I'm going to try to rake up as much of the stone, the white stone, as I can and put it in over here. And then we're just going to get rid of this whole raised area of dirt and just plant grass all through there. So this is just a lot of grunt work, but for now I'm just going to try to rake up the rocks if I can and distribute them over there. So now I've gotten pretty much all the stone that I can out of here just using the rake and the shovel. There's a lot more I could take out, but I would have to be down on my hands and knees and picking it out with my hands. I'm not going to do that. We don't need the stone that bad. So now I just need to take these logs off of here, and then we'll get the machine in here and clear all of this out. And the stone that I cleaned up over there, I put all in through here because it had some stone in it, but it was very thin. So now it looks a little better. Now there was also stone along here on this side of the sidewalk. We're going to remove all of that completely. You can see here I started raking some of it up. We're just going to plant grass in there. When I rake it up, there's still a little bit of stone left. So once we scrape the top off of there where the stone is, there'll be a few inches of dirt over there that we still need to take down and remove. So we're going to take that dirt, spread it in here to cover that leftover stone right there with a few inches of dirt so that we can plant grass all along here on this side of the sidewalk. You can see here where the grass was already growing up through the stone. So the inspector was here this morning for what we thought was going to be the final inspection, because we are finished everything that needs to be inspected. The rest of the stuff, the paint on the outside, the floor, that doesn't need to be inspected. So we were going to finish it up. He approved everything that we did. He approved the deck and all that work that I did out there. He approved all of the work that Barry did on the electrical in the new panel and all of that, so we're all good to go. There was only one thing he didn't approve, and that is that we have to have all of the receptacle covers on and completely enclosed before he can give the final certificate of occupancy. So he's going to have to come back just for that. Anyway, we're good to go there. We're shaping up. So here's a day that I think a lot of people have been waiting for. The day we start painting the outside is using the sprayer. Now this is just primer. This isn't the final color.
This is tinted primer.
Tinted primer. And you see on there it's going over pretty thick, but over here this was all bare new wood and it didn't cover quite as well. So Molly is over here taping up, getting ready for the spray gun, trying to stay ahead of Barry. This is all tedious stuff. So Molly and I worked on taping for the entire day, and eventually Barry even jumped in and helped. It took all day to get this done. Once this was done, he was able to actually spray on the primer for the entire house in like 2 hours. Now as you can see here, it's starting to get on toward dusk, and we were hoping and planning to actually finish the priming of the house this evening, but then the gutter guys showed up. This is a seamless gutter machine. You see right here there's a great big huge coil of aluminum, and it pulls it through the machine and it creates the seamless gutter, and they can make it as long as they want to, which is really cool. So there are no seams anywhere in the gutter when they put them up. The original gutters worked okay, but they looked really shabby and they were all brown. We would have had to paint them all anyway, so we decided to have new gutters put on. We actually had to stop painting because we found that we were fighting over the space because we were trying to paint at the same place that they were putting up the gutters. So while they were putting up the gutters, Barry could not continue to paint, but Molly and I continued to tape up the windows in preparation for the spray gun. It's now the next morning, the gutters are up, so Barry can continue with spraying on the primer. primer is now on. That's the gray paint. And so now I have lots and lots of hand cutting in to do with the white paint for the soffit. When we put the final coat of paint on the house, we'll be using rollers instead of the spray gun. It just gives much better coverage. So we will also have to use the brush to cut in up here by the soffit. Now once again, this is the next morning and Barry's trying to get the rest of the priming done, and the gutter guys showed up again. Last night they did the gutters, but they came this morning to put in all of the downspouts. But Barry was able to work around that. So yesterday we were trying to finish up the original or the initial primer, the spray on, and as we were working late into the evening, the gutter guys got here and we had to quit because we were in each other's way. We were trying to paint while they were trying to do the gutters. It didn't work. So they put the gutters on, and then they were just supposed to put the downspouts on temporarily, but they completely finished all the downspouts, screwed them all properly and everything. So we had to take the downspouts off again. They're all laying over here so that we could finish painting this before we put the downspouts back on permanently. That was kind of frustrating. But this is Tuesday afternoon, and Hurricane Ian is going to be coming through here starting Friday evening and then all weekend. And so we're trying to get this painted and get the gutters back on before the hurricane hits. Up here in Virginia, we're going to have a lot of rain, but we won't have any significant wind, and of course no storm surge or anything like that. But we could have several inches of heavy rain over the weekend. So we want to at least get the gutters back on, and we don't want to do that until it's painted. So if it doesn't look like we're going to make it in time, we'll at least paint the section behind the gutter so we can put the gutters back on again. So now I'm starting on the second coat of paint on the soffit and the fascia. I'm not going to record any of it because it's just more of the same. But we need to finish all the paint, both coats up here, before we paint the walls so that none of the white paint will drip down onto the walls. And the walls, like I said, this is the primer, which is colored gray. We're going to paint it with rollers, and the final color will also be gray, but it'll be lighter than this. Wow, so I just went to lunch, and then after that I had an appointment, so I've been gone about 2.5 hours. And when I get back, the entire front of the house has been painted with the final color, and there's Molly's mom helping out. But anyway, this color is, I thought from what Molly was saying, it was going to be gray, but it almost looks like kind of a tan color to it. I don't know how well you can see because of the shadow of the sun, but I was just amazed to see they got the whole front of the house done with a roller while I was gone for 2 hours. So here's the gray primer, and here's the paint. You can see right up there the primer underneath, and the paint is a lot brighter, kind of a tannish beige, gray beige. It's going to be nice. So up there is where we need to cut in by hand, which Molly's mom is doing. By the way, I know somebody's going to ask, so this color is by Benjamin Moore, and it's called Revere Pewter.
So now this is the other end of the house, the far end of the house, and I am working on the second coat of white up on the soffit. And this is actually Molly's dad that stopped by, and he's helping by starting to put the first coat of Revere Pewter on the walls.
So I mentioned earlier that Hurricane Ian is coming in soon, and we wanted to get the gutters back on. So this is now Thursday morning, and Ian is supposed to hit Friday around noon. Now I'm going to get this video posted tomorrow, Friday, so you'll be seeing it the day that the hurricane is going to hit. So Molly did 2 coats of paint right here of the Revere Pewter, the final coat, the final color, underneath of the gutters. And I was amazed, because she's a short little girl and she doesn't do ladders more than about 2 steps up. She was able to reach all the way up there 2 stories with a roller on a great big long pole. I was amazed at how well it worked. But so now I'm going to go up and actually cut in right here, because that'll be easier to do when the gutters aren't there. So I'm going to go all the way around the house and cut in around, where the gutters, so we can put the gutters back today before the rain hits tomorrow. So it's now late Thursday afternoon. We've been painting all day. We got most of the front part done. The back here, just under the downspouts. As you can see, we got the downspout in, and the rain is supposed to start tomorrow about noon or so from Hurricane Ian. So I'm glad we got that all buttoned up. A little bit of flood control here. So I hope you're enjoying this. You can sort of see the color now. And we're excited because we're just about really beginning to wrap it up. So thanks for watching, everybody. Live simple, live free. You be blessed.